Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Wakar, Kadash. And the Heavenly Father, true name is Yahweh, and the Son of the Son, Bahashem, in the name of Hamashiach, Yahweh Shai. Those are the true names in the ancient Paleo Hebrew, the Lashon tongue. And I say, Rakadam, to the elders and apostles, Akim, Akwa, and I say, Shalom. And this is a sit-down lesson of the wars and rumors of wars as of July, not July, let me take that back, as of August the 9th, 2026, on this Sunday afternoon. And as I mentioned again, this is a wars and rumors of wars news updates as of August the 9th, 2026, on this Sunday afternoon. And as you've been having ever since Benjamin Netanyahu has rejected that peace plan deal that was pushed by the Trump administration. It was announced like a week and a half ago. And then he rejected that because he was waiting for the Israel festivals to fully disarm themselves over there in the Gaza Strip. But in the meantime, he's not going to withdraw the troops over there. He rejected the 15 peace plan, Gaza plan. And then you have Benjamin Netanyahu was saying that he's going to make sure Iran doesn't have a nuclear weapon because Trump and Benjamin Netanyahu, they follow, they agree with the campaign of them making sure that Iran doesn't have a nuclear capability. So that lets you know that's an indicator that the tensions are still going to be there between Iran and Israel. Definitely, in particular, Iran and Israel, the tensions are still going to be there. And then the tensions been up, been on back and forth between Iran and the United States. But definitely, as far as Iran and Israel, those tensions are going to spark back up once again after Benjamin Netanyahu was saying that he's going to make sure Iran does not have a nuclear weapon. So check out this news article from the Jerusalem Post. And this is from live updates from the Jerusalem Post. Current time in Israel, August the 10th at 1:03 a.m. It says live updates. It says Netanyahu vows Iran would never have a nuclear weapon. It says he rejected the BOP of a 15-plan Gaza plan. The report of the IDF withheld Hezbollah explosive drones attack. Protesters renewed calls for October 7th poll. It says report Netanyahu passed silently approves construction efforts in Gaza Strip. It says the U.S. CENTCOM enforced Strait of Hormuz blockage, redirect vessels and ships. Right, because they're still going to have the United States still at the moment until they fully agree to a deal, and they still blocking the Strait of Hormuz. It says the U.S. CENTCOM has redirected 55 commercial vessels disabling 2 more to as of August 9th. The U.S. military announced in a post on X early Monday morning. The U.S. said to stand watch on the bridge of the USS Ross DEG-71. Ross is one of over 20 U.S. warships deployed to the Middle East, which is Western Asia, supporting the military mission, including the strict enforcement of the U.S. blockage against Iran as of August 9th. CENTCOM has redirected 55 commercial vessels. And this is from August the 9th, 11:42 p.m. It reads from the Jerusalem Post. It says Houthis begin a new wave of attacks on Mochia, if I pronounced that right, according to the report. It says by the Jerusalem Post staff, it says the Houthi rebel groups in Yemen has attacked mobilization centers, weapons deposits, and operational roles in Mochia. Houthis affiliated Al-Mansoura TV reported late Sunday night call citing a source in the group. It says Yemen Houthis resumed attacks in the Mochia port. Yemen military spokesperson said. It says by rules, it says Yemen Houthis resumed attack in the Red Sea port of Mochia, and Yemeni military spokesperson told Reuters. It says the footage shows by the Houthi affiliate Al-Mansoura TV showed the launch of ballistic missiles and drones News, which the Houthis military spokesperson uh, Ya- Yahya, Yahya, I think that's his name, Yahya Shari, has said in a post on Telegram targeting Saudi Arabian troops, administration, and weapons deposits. Another update, August 9th, 10:56 p.m. from the Jerusalem Post by Reuters. It says the Yemen Houthis resumes attacks on March 4th. Yemen spokesperson says Israel holding senior Hamas figure who opposed civil war defense in prison for 2 years, according to the report. It says Trump is only semi-negotiated with Iran observing the impact of economic pressure. Right, just like they pushed those sanctions on them, I think it was like a couple of days ago. So in the meantime, we're going to have the blockage of the Strait of Hormuz and more economical sanctions to push forth, to push forth Iran to get into a deal. That's why Iran demanded those more demands from the United States before they opened up the Strait of Hormuz. It says the IDF destroyed underground Hezbollah weapons and storage shaft in southern Lebanon. It says Iran says home deal is in the final stages, but the U.S. must act first to open Strait of Hormuz. This is Book of Matthew, 24th chapter. And now they say that Trump is willing to end the war in Iran. That he's going to declare victory. I don't think that's declaring victory because, for one, Iran, they still going to have certain parts of the Strait of Hormuz. And then, two, they're going to revive themselves. And three, and they even haven't really fully changed, have a military regime change. And of course, they might took out there a couple of leaders, throughout the years recently, but they still got another supreme leader, which is Atami Ayatollah, which he got killed at airstrike back in February, but they haven't fully been changed. They fully haven't fully success doing a regime change in Iran. It says Matthew 24:6, and ye should hear of wars and wars and wars, but despite the fact it tends to be heating up on and off back and forth between Iran and the United States. The battle of the Strait of Hormuz is still heating up as we speak until they get to a fully official deal, which they made progress on. And then you still have the tension between Iran and Israel, just like Benjamin Netanyahu was saying that he still continues to vow to make sure Iran doesn't have a nuclear weapon, just like the Trump administration said the same thing as well too. So both, they agree on both sides of that. So that's an indicator that the tension between Iran and Israel is still going to heat up. So these are signs which are called in the category of wars and rumors of wars. It says you should hear of wars and rumors of wars, right? The Russia-Ukraine situation that's intensifying by the day. As it's entering its fifth year of the war between Russia and Ukraine, so ever since then they've been intensifying. It says you should hear of wars and rumors of wars, right? Saudi Arabia and its Yemenese armed forces versus the Houthi rebels over there in Yemen. And over there in the Mediterranean Sea, the Red Sea as well too. And then you got tensions heating up over there in the South China Sea, China versus Taiwan. And then you got North Korea versus South Korea, Japan, and the United States versus North Korea over in the Korean Peninsula. So these are signs of wars and rumors of wars still heating up. And you should hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that you be not trouble for all these things must first come to pass, but the end's not yet. Right, so it's going to come to pass when the end is yet. Matthew 24:7, for nation shall rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom, which goes to ethnos. But you're still going to see these armies of the nations still going to be rising against one another. And these are modern day kingdom for armies of nations going to be rising against one another as well too. It's like Russia and the United States that's going to heat back up. China versus the United States is going to heat back up. The alliance between China, Russia, Iran, North Korea, Cuba, and all these other nations still going to be going against the Western countries. says, there shall be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in diverse places, like right along with it. And this is the book of Joel, chapter 3, and verse 9. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, like the arms of the other nations. It says, prepare war, wake up the mighty men. So despite the fact they might push forth these peace talks and peace agreements, trying to de-escalate tensions, but the prophet Joel was mentioned that the Heavenly Father is still putting that warlike mindset of these Gentile armies of other nations. It says, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near to come up. Right, so let all the men of war draw near to come up. Still going to be gathered over in Western Asia. Joel chapter 3 verse 10, beat your plowshares and the swords and the pointing hooks and the spears and the wicks and strong. Right, the proxy groups, the pro-Iranian groups rise up against the Israel Defense Force. And that's why tensions are still there between Iran and Israel and the proxy groups and the Israel Defense Force and the Houthi rebels still going against the Israel Defense Force and its allies. So the tensions are still there, even though it's been up and down, back and forth. So with that, hopefully this sit down, that's what's edifying. The wars or rumors of wars, news updates as of August the 9th, 2026 on this Sunday afternoon. So with that, I would like to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai Ba'ashem, Wakar Kadash, and the Heavenly Father. True name is Yahweh, and His only begotten Son, Bahashem, in the name of Hamashiach Yahweh Shai. Those are the true names in the ancient Paleo Hebrew. The lost bastard of the tongue, and I said the Wakatham to the elders and apostles were Akim Akwath. Until next time, we say Kom Yasharallah in the Bible Ball, Shalom.